Welcome back to the Guitar Temple. Glad you're here. I was just thinking about what influenced me. The very first influence, if you will, to play guitar. What was it? Who was it? Think about it. Comment below, by the way, and tell me who it was for you. For me, it was 1964. Yes, I was born in the 50s. I know, hard to believe. Hard to believe. Anyway. But the thing is, it was 1964, and I'm sitting there. The Ed Sullivan Show. You know who it is. It was specifically, though, John Lennon. John Lennon of the Beatles. I saw that guy with that guitar. I says, now that's cool. Well, that's a good job. I said to myself, I want to be a guitar player. Of course, you know, didn't come from a rich family, so I ended up only getting my first guitar when I was 16 and a half years old, and only started to really play it at almost 17. But I got there. I ended up going on the circuit tour throughout the US and stuff like that. But who was it for you? For me, it was the great John Lennon. I really loved that guitar too. Let's take a look today at the superstar, John Lennon.
Your artwork. You wanted to be at one stage an artist.
Yes, but as usual, I wanted to be the wrong one. I wanted to be a painter, which I was lousy at. The only thing I could do was this kind of work. But I insisted on taking painting.
Some of these drawings look as if you're preoccupied with abnormalities.
Well, I'm not really. It's just that they're not very abnormal.
Physical abnormalities.
Yeah, well, my earlier drawings when I was about 18 or 19 were really abnormal, you see. So I think they're quite normal. They might look abnormal now, but they're not. They're quite clean and fresh, I thought. Healthy people.
Very clean and fresh spirit of skepticism and all this. Are you naturally skeptical of things and of people and situations?
Probably, yeah.
Do you think people have a tendency to underestimate you, to think that you're barely articulate and that you don't have a mind because you're a Beatle?
They might have, yeah, I think they did for quite a time, but now they expect more. I mean, so some press conferences, they'll just come in and sit down and wait for us to be witty about nothing. You know? But they won't even talk sometimes. They think we're going to give a show. So it's not all roses.
größte in die Geschichte des Showbusiness ansagen. Aus England, die Beatles!
you most like about the Ringo?
Oh, I just loved all of it, you know, especially Miami. The sun, you know. I didn't know what it meant till I went over there.
Don't you get it up in Liverpool?
No, they finished up there, you know. Cut it out.
Did you ever have a chance, John, to just get away on your own without anybody recognising you?
We borrowed a couple of millionaires' houses, you know. Well,
we did. You could afford to buy a couple of millionaires' houses, couldn't you?
No,
yeah, we're soon to borrow them. It's cheaper. And we did a bit of water skiing. Well, sort of. Anyway.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Did your wife enjoy it over there?
Yeah, she loved it. Who?
Shh, don't tell him he's married. It's a secret.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to. What about the taste of the fans over there? Did you find the same stuff?
You never been.
We expected them to be very different, but they weren't at all.
Yeah.
The accent was the only thing, you know, it was the only difference. Lovely.
Did they reckon you sang in an English accent or American?
No, some fella said, how come because you're from Britain and you still sing an American accent or something? Huh?
Yeah.
So funny. We've been trying to explain to him that it's a Liverpool accent.
You know, but he wouldn't believe it.
He kept saying, oh, it's funny.
When you came back from France, you told me that they liked the sort of quicker numbers.
Yeah.
But what did you do? You just do all the same routine as you do here?
Yes,
because
yeah,
we
well,
didn't hit the records that are hits over there, are the ones that are hits.
Oh yeah, we had to
here.
do Please Please Me over there.
Yeah.
And we haven't been doing that for a long time here, but it's in the charts.
That's history here.
Yeah.
What about the Beatles styles, all these wigs and suits and things? Are they catching on over
Yeah, they're selling well.
I hear anyway that the four of you are going to be millionaires by the end of the year.
That's nice.
Have you got time? Have you got time to actually spend this money?
What money? He said.
Doesn't he give any to you?
No. You seen that car of his?
One of the things you did was visit Clay. One of the things you did was visit
Spitting on
Cassius
me.
Clay.
He's a big lad.
Who's going to win? Clay Liston.
Ringo. I'll win him.
Well,
it all depends, you see. If you go to his gym, you have to say he wins. And if you go to Liston's gym, you say Liston will win. A big lad, Jim.
Jim will win.
Big monsters will win, but Cassius Clay is a good singer.
He's a good singer.
That he told us, he's Chubby Checker's cousin.
He made up a poem as well.
Yeah.
This one of the things that have been reported over here in the British Embassy. What actually happened?
It's very nice indeed to get, especially to get one each, because we usually have a bit of trouble cutting them in four. I'd just like to say thank you very much. It's a great honour.
I'd just like to say the same as the others. Thanks for the Purple Hearts. Silver! Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, Harold. We'd like to sincerely thank you all, and we've got to go now because the fella on the film wants us, and he says it's costing him a fortune. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
You ran right out, huh? I want to go back home.
And see a baseball game.
Oh yeah, I want to go back home, man. Where I come from, we got baseball games. Shit, baseball games. We got all-night TV. I come from the land of paradise, man.
Sounds great.
And my mother was a great knitter, so I used to wear a lot of twin sets and things, you see. So I was a pretty ordinarily dressed girl at the time. And of course, when I went to art college, it was fantastic, absolutely wonderful.
So although it wasn't your world, you soon began to enjoy it?
I loved it. I integrated beautifully. After the first 2 years, it took about 2 years.
And then you integrated with one of your fellow pupils, didn't you? What first attracted you to John?
Well, I like rebels and individuals in life, you see, and John was a rebel and an individual, and very enigmatic. I just couldn't resist him. I knew there were easier men in the world. In fact, I was going out with a very easy, boring man at the time. You know, sort of almost planned marriage and building societies and saving up for marriage. But I mean, John just lifted me away from all this and the excitement of college, of meeting individuals, new people, growing up. And John just topped it all for me. He was just the most outrageous character I'd ever come across. And I loved him for it.
Who had to make the first move? Did the woman have to catch, or did he propose?
Well, they say, what is it, a woman chases a man until he catches her. Well, I suppose in a way it was a similar sort of situation. When John first met me, I'd gone through all the gamut of changing hairstyles and growing it and changing it to red and goodness knows how many other colours. And when I met John, he influenced me because he loved French film stars. He loved the accent and the mystery of Brigitte Bardot and, not your down-to-earth Liverpool girl. So the closest I could get to it was to grow my hair longer. So I gradually went from red to blonde. And that's how I evolved as the nearest I could get to Brigitte Bardot for John. And tight skirts and black stockings and all that business.
I think I remember seeing pictures of that sort of stuff. What was it like when it all took off? I think the word somewhere is used, that you used the word joy about the best moments of it. That's a very strong word, joy. Was it that much fun?
Oh, yes. Yes, looking back on films of the old days, the very early days, it was such a tremendous experience. The joy of that experience. I mean, very few people have gone through that experience before and appreciated it and been in the centre of it. It was frightening. It was just overwhelming. We didn't have time to think about whether it was going to stop or carry on. It was just like, it's just something that went on and on and on and got better and better and bigger and bigger. And being in the centre of it, you just got swept along by it.
Those wonderful days, the roller coaster of Beatlemania, if you had to say one thing, what was the best?
I suppose, I think the first trip to America, when I was allowed to go with them, when I was always in the background and I was always protected. But to experience that, the sound when we arrived in America, at the airport, we all thought they were screaming jets. The noise as we got off the plane. There was tremendous screaming and shouting. and we thought it was another jet alongside us. And when we got out, this incredible noise of thousands and thousands of fans. Oh, it's just so hard to describe.
How are we going to get in then? Oh, hey, the party, buddy! Look, you locked the door. Hi, girls.
What was the worst thing about the Beatles' rise to fame, big fame?
The lack of space, a feeling of imprisonment, the fact that you couldn't go out on your own. You couldn't go for a walk hand in hand down by the river, you know, without constantly being... We were constantly besieged by fans.
Good. Hello?
By the press, by the fans.
Oh, hello, yes, who do you want? Quick, speak up.
The news is...
Just constantly.
As a pop star, of course, in those days, John Lennon was not meant to be married, was he?
Oh no, it was disastrous. I mean, as far as the fans were concerned, definitely not meant to be married.
Did your wife enjoy it over there?
Yeah, she loved it. Who? Don't tell him he's married. It's a secret.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry about that.
How long was it a secret for?
Oh, about 12 months, maybe 18 months. During the time that I was pregnant, you know, that it was all very quiet.
Did you feel resentment about that?
Not really. Not really, no. Again, perhaps I should. In retrospect, I should. I should have been a totally different sort of character during the whole time. But, you know, at the time, I was concerned about the baby to come. I was happy that we were married. And I was quite happy to keep a low profile for the sake of the boys.
This is part of the story. Okay. Guys, no, this is...
Stand the bomb! Stand the pole!
Get it, officer. Doing your duty.
And if that was what was supposed to be, and if that was what Brian thought would be the best, then I was quite happy to go along with it.
Did you ever feel that you were a rival to Brian, or that Brian was a rival to you?
I didn't feel a rival to Brian. Maybe on Brian's side, he felt that I was a rival to him, because he did have a great love for John. John and I were very close and very tight-knit. We had been going out together for 3 years before we were married. And we had quite a very strong understanding. Brian was there as a manager.
That he was astonished that in the last... All through, you seem to have been practical and understanding and allowing, in a way that the modern age feminist would object to, that you should have fought for your rights. How would you answer that kind of person who would say that to you? Why don't you fight for more of this and more of his time and so on and so forth? What would you say to them?
I think sometimes fighting can go against you. I think you can only be yourself in these matters. You've got to be true to yourself all along. And I feel as though I've been true to myself, no matter what's happened. I could have fought, I could have battled before the divorce from John. But I knew that that wouldn't do any good, because people have their own lives to lead, their own fate. I'm a great fatalist, and John had his life to travel on, and I had my life to travel on. And we met for a short time, it was 10 years. But during that 10 years, they were wonderful years. Now, if I'd tried, or I'd been aggressive about the whole business, it wouldn't have altered a thing. It would have caused bad feeling. And I'm quite happy as I am now. You know, I have really no regrets about it.
The Rock Hall plays with a lot of history, and tonight they simply added another note from one of the biggest legends in musical history.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you something. I think you'll understand.
It's the 1964 Rickenbacker guitar played by the immortal John Lennon of the Beatles. He strummed this instrument after the first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show back in 1964. Something happened to it and he couldn't get it fixed in time for the next show. So he bought this one that's now on display at the Rock Hall.
Yoko Ono has loaned us John Lennon's Rickenbacker electric guitar, the very guitar that he played on the Ed Sullivan Show on their second appearance on the show.
Trust me when I tell you they went over everything preparing for the guitar's arrival, even delicately going over the case that will go over it with precision. Rock expert David Spiro says go check it out because this is the guitar that changed the game in rock and roll.
If you talk to any musician that was around at the time as a young kid, that's the turning point for them. That's the day they turned to their parents and said, I want to buy a guitar.
Months after the Beatles played the Ed Sullivan Show, they played a concert at Public Hall here in Cleveland. So it's quite possible the Rickenbacker was played there. John Lennon did an interview on Channel 5 with Don Webster.
Who is, if there is, a chief Beatle?
Me.
Is there a leader of the group?
Not really, if anybody gets the blame for anything, it's me, so that's why I'm called the leader.
Hello. Hello. I'm here to show you about some guitar playing. How are ya? I hope you have a good time. I hope you have a good time, huh? Yeah? You're gonna have fun? I hope so. If you don't, what can I tell you? But I'd like to play for you today. I hope you enjoy it. You stay sweet, because you are. Yes, you are. And there's the video. I hope you appreciate it. The icon, the superstar, the great genius of John Lennon. That's where the spark began. He might not have been a guitar technician. He certainly knew how to put a song together. Great. The Beatles. That's where it started. John Lennon's guitar, when I saw that one, I said, wow, that is so cool looking. But you see, it caused a spark, didn't it? How about yourself? I know with me, it was John Lennon. Then as you get older, you say, who's this guy, Jimi Hendrix? Then you say, start listening to Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin. And as you grow older and you start to learn their licks and stuff like that, you come across a guy named Frank Marino. And then you're reading Guitar Player magazine and you say, there's a place called the Guitar Institute of Technology. I says, hey, I'm gonna go there. Only after I saw a guy named Larry Carlton and Al Di Meola. I said, they have upped the ante, haven't they? So I went to GIT, which is Guitar Institute of Technology, which is the Musicians Institute now. I was there with Jennifer Batten, the only female there, by the way, at the time. She became lead guitarist of Michael Jackson. Anyways, got out and did my circuit tours throughout the 5-star, 5-diamond, state national tours, casinos, resorts, the whole works, right? But those were the influences. Who influenced you? What is the chief aim spark that got you to play guitar? Then we moved, after years went by, and in today's day, I would say it's Guthrie Govan. I would say today it's Igor Paspalj. Nowadays it's Andy Timmons. And of course, the great Alex Hutchings. See, these are more guitar technicians. They are gunslingers, if you will. But nevertheless, they are influences of musicians. So who is it that influenced you? The lead guitar player of Aerosmith, Foghat, Bad Company, Led Zeppelin. Who was it? Who was it? And by the way, where are you from? We get some friends from Italy. Hello, Nicola. You get friends from all over the world now. Let me know where you're from also, okay? All right, well, up and out. I'll talk to you later. And thanks for visiting us here at the Guitar Temple.
I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. You ain't see me activated. You better hope that you never see me agitated. I think about my actions, plan them out, evaluated. That's how I end up on the top, man, I'm calculated. My mind's a weapon, my body is the engine. I'm never second guessing, I just do what I was destined. Cause I feel I got the blessing, persistence and obsession. That's how you keep progressing, I already learned that lesson, yeah. I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. You can't stop what's moving. You can't stop what's moving. I'm changing my life, and I won't look back ever again. No fear, see clear, you deserve to be great. I know it feels like things get in your way. Push through those walls and the others will fall. Sit up, stand tall, you can get through it all. I need some energy, anxiety's no friend to me. I have a short memory, I don't really remember things. That's how I move on, that's how I stay strong. A new day's on, I'll keep moving right along. And I feel like the pain in the past, it needs to stay in the past. You gotta take off the cast, I wanna can move